first episode of Wind Down the Weekend. Yay! So excited to be here. I'm excited too. Wind Down the Weekend is a show that I'm going to start doing on my YouTube channel where I drop a video or two or maybe three every weekend, and I'm just talking about different topics that are controversial or just hot topics in the community right now. And so yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna sometimes just be here by myself. Other times I'm gonna have my friends here with me. Y'all gonna see lots of my friends, my family, all of that. Because honestly, I just want people that are gonna come here and talk about like their perspective on things. Because we don't always agree on stuff, and that don't mean we gotta cancel each other because of it. But also, this is on page so we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, which is what we're gonna be doing Wind Down the Weekends, period. Now, let's get into it. So the topics are going to range literally from, it might be serious topics, it might be like playful topics. We're not going to always be bashing niggas here. Like, it's going to sometimes be about other stuff as well. So, men, y'all are always more than welcome to come on the show. If you're ever interested, feel free to DM me on social media at Hostile Key. Please speak that we have changed the YouTube name from Honey Bliss to Hostile Key because it is more fitting. And it is easier for me to create content under a name that I've been going by versus creating content for a new name, a new look. It was just a lot going on. So yeah. A couple of quick shameless plugs. Of course, I'm always checking out my black owned businesses. So it's Jolie Noir on the t-shirt. The link is below if you are interested. It's a black owned company. I think it's like Elevated Leisure Brand or something like that. They are in Target and they've been featured in a lot of different places like Blacktivity and Essence and all that type of stuff. So yes, make sure you go support. And of course, Elysian Glam on hair, period. Who better? I don't know. But all of those things are linked below. So if you're interested and want to check out some of that businesses, there you go. So today, I am drinking on some Pacific Fruit Vineyards. And it's a sweet peach flavor. Baby, this is from Aldis, okay? Let me tell y'all something about Aldis. Aldis is gonna get you right for $3. I ain't never been disappointed in no wine that I had from Aldis. It's good. I already knew it was good. I've been had this. Anyways, this is what we're drinking on today. I know you're probably wondering why the glass is so full, but I feel like you should mind your business because when you're at your house, let's be for real. Why are we putting in a little bitty amounts of alcohol in our cup when we know we're about to be drinking a whole bottle? Let's just be for real. Fill it up. That should be the new rule. And if it's not the new rule, it's gonna be the rule at my house, period. Now, today's topic, so y'all can always submit topics on my Instagram, so I'll put the little question out there every now and then for y'all to like drop new topics. If you're interested in speaking, I'll give you the opportunity to do that as well. But I had already got a long list of topics. So our very first one to kick off the Wind Down Wednesdays is the what do you bring to the table conversation. Honey, this is going to be a short video. Because one thing about me, I'm going to keep it cute, I'm going to keep it short. Not always, that's a lie. First things first. I really believe quarantine, COVID-19, us being stuck in a house, really destroys your social skills, because this is not a topic, this is not something that you should be explicitly saying to somebody. This might be a behind the scenes conversation you have with your girls about what is he bringing to the table, or vice versa, you might talk about this with your boys. But this is not something that like you on a date and you ask somebody. This is not a question that you explicitly ask somebody because it's rude. I feel like you need to take the time to get to know the person that you want to date. It's not a job. Like, and people be like lying on their job application. So you trying to ask this explicit question and get down to the nitty gritty when in reality the person is A, going to scoot around the question, or B, going to be uncomfortable and you just bring a shot with them. Because at the end of the day, when y'all be asking, what do you bring to the table? That's not even a question y'all trying to ask for real. What y'all really want to talk about is, what type of bill is you expecting me to foot? And do I succumb myself to traditional gender roles? That's what y'all really want to know, like the answer to. So my thing is like, why not ask those explicit questions versus asking me what I bring to the table as if I need to explain myself to you. If you don't know who you are dating, who you brought on a date, who you're trying to talk to, honey, wrap it up. I'm just that type of girl. Because if I'm on a date and somebody's like, so what do you bring to the table? I'm getting up. I'm going to knock you in their throat. One or the other. Because don't disrespect me and don't disrespect my time. Do your research before you ask me to sit at the table. Period. You know what I be up to. You know what I be on. Everybody knows what I be up to. Everybody knows what I be on. And if you don't know, you should maybe get to know me, then ask me on a date. Because I might not be the type of girl you want to date for real. I may not be your speed. You may not be my speed. And that's perfectly fine. But don't bring me to no dinner table talking about some, what do you bring to the table? Like a lot of times the people that ask these questions are the people that typically want to go 50-50 or expecting a woman to pull her weight financially and then not have to really, help out. Or they're also the people that they don't like to cook and clean. They expect the woman to do that. They think the woman needs to be handling all the home business while they go and do whatever they want to do. And if that's your way of thinking, okay, so be it. But let's also address the fact that life has changed drastically since traditional gender roles was put into place. So there used to be a dire need to have a man in your life because women could not make money or make very little money in comparison to men. So in order to keep up with the cost of living in general, as a woman, to put shoes and clothes on, to put money in your pockets, food in your mouth, shelter over your head, transportation, and all that type of stuff, you needed a man to do those things. You practically needed a man to exist. Meanwhile, all of those gender wages still exist. It's not to the same extent. It's not as severe as it used to be. So a woman can very much so be a single and independent person and handle her business and never have a man come into her life at any point in time. Not saying that that's what women want, but saying that that is on the table. So when you're talking about traditional gender roles, let's also address that this is a different day and age. Women now have agency, we have social mobility, and we also have financial flexibility. And so when you come correct. So you want us to succumb to traditional gender roles, and what is it that you are going to do? Because let's do the math. What was the percentage difference between what women was making and men was making a century ago, 50 years ago? And so then when you're coming and asking me to succumb myself to traditional gender roles, I want you to also keep that same energy with yourself. Are you making enough money to ask me to keep up with that? And if that is the case, you have to also understand the fact that I, technically per traditional gender roles, I would be at home 24/7 instead of going out and getting any money. And you would still need to keep that same percentage of change between both your and my pay grades. And that's just the tea right there. Anyways, long story short, if your concern is footing the bill, you should do your research in advance. Don't ask a woman that clearly won't be putting up a split the bill nonsense to go on a date with you and then live a split the bill type of life. No, you just need to aim within your reach. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I am saying stay in your lane. You stay in your lane, you got no problem. Ask a girl that's interested in splitting the bills to split the bills. Don't ask a girl that don't want a man to split the bills to split the bills. That doesn't make sense. Just like you get to pick who you date, we also get to pick who we date. So that's just that on that. And like I said, it's really important that you get to know the person before you start dating them. And there's ways to ask these questions that y'all want to ask without blatantly asking somebody what they bring to the table. You can suddenly ask somebody, okay, well, what is it that you do for work? Have you gone to school? Did you go to college? What's your career path? What are your goals and your dreams? That's how you can get a good understanding of who somebody is. Me, when I first talk to somebody, one of the first, I would say, honestly, first 3 questions is, what do you do for work? That's how you can understand what type of bill they're going to expect you to foot right then and there. What do you do for work? Because if you think that I'm going to be financing you, I don't think so. And if you think I'm walking around with somebody where I have to kind of aim on a cheaper end of things, I don't think so. Because I don't tell myself no. And so I'm not going to date somebody that's going to be telling me no. I'm not going to date somebody that's going to put limits on what I can and cannot do because of what they do and do not bring into their household. No. You can ask somebody, what is it that you do? Did you go to college? What are your goals and dreams? Is somebody ambitious or not? Okay, is dude working at the warehouse? He been working at the warehouse for 5 years and he's okay with working at the warehouse forever? I don't know. I'm a little concerned. You don't want more? Do you want to own your own business? These are questions that you get to know. And a lot of times for me, after I kind of get my initial questions out the way, I stop talking to people because it's we're not really on the same wavelength. You don't have no goals and dreams that you can share with me. I'm not telling you to spill your life out to me, but at the same time, can I see some proof of you being ambitious and or motivated to do something more than what you're doing right now? Not saying that what you're doing right now is not enough or it's not good, but I strongly believe that people should always have their eye on the prize. What is your next goal? What is your next move? You may not necessarily be actively moving towards it, but you might be in a mindset where it's I know this is next, and I'm trying to wrap this up, and then I'm gonna be working on this, So I just need to see proof of that. And if you cannot provide me proof of that, you being motivated or want to be more and wanting to do more, then something more to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So the whole idea of asking somebody what they bring to the table isn't really necessary. There are more ways, more subtle ways that you can ask these questions and not be disrespectful. Because I really feel if you're asking somebody what do you bring to the table? You don't care about getting to know them as a person. Because to me, asking you, did you go to college, did you go to school, you know, where do you work at, what are your goals and ambitions, those are questions that more so seem invested in who you are as a person than what do you bring to a table that can benefit me. You see how those like kind of, it's a turn in conversation. Like when you ask somebody what they bring to the table, one, you're trying to see like what benefits can they bring to you, which is like a weird question to ask in general. But beyond that, it's like, it's not even realistic. You're asking me what I bring to this hypothetical table with you, who I don't really know for real. And so my thing is that whatever I brought to the last table with the last dude, and the table before that with that dude, and the table before that with those dudes, it's not gonna be what I bring to the table with you. Like, those people had different experiences, different lives, different social status, different financial flexibility and capabilities, different levels of motivation and education behind them. They had different upbringings and different childhood traumas than you do. And so the ways in which I had to show up for them is not going to be the same ways that I'm going to show up for you. While somebody may have had to grow up out of survival, you may have grown up out of love. And so for survival, I had to always be tactical in the way in which I loved them and the way in which I supported them. Whereas with love, we can more so enjoy the blissful romance of it all. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I bring to this experience is not going to be what I brought to that experience. And so it's like, in theory, I'm just throwing out these characteristics that, oh, you know, I could support you, I love you, I motivate you. I'm throwing out these things that I have done in previous relationships and I know I'm capable of doing, but that may not even be what you need. So I'm answering a question based off of my experiences with other people. The whole time we should be focused on what I can bring to the table with you, and you should be focused on that on an underlying level. Like, it shouldn't be so explicit that you're investing in seeing what I can do for you. Because at that point, like I said, this is a job interview. And if a date feels like a job interview, baby, you can keep it. Like, no. If you took the time to get to know somebody, you would find all the answers that you need. But instead, you're trying to take the quick route, and the quick route is just going to mark you as a disrespectful ass nigga and get you knocked to the side. And so that's why I'm like, I really think y'all should be more conscious in the way that y'all approach these conversations. Like, there's a way in which you can be a little bit more, I'm not even an empathetic person, but there's a way in which you can be more empathetic in these questions. Like, y'all are solely asking people what they can do for you, what they can do for you. Like, I feel like a lot of y'all just have a lot of growing up to do, because, I mean, maybe not, if it's women that is responding to that and it's okay with that, I guess you winning, but I really personally feel like y'all need to grow up. There is no logical reason why y'all are asking these type of questions on dates. Like, that's out of pocket. That's something that you should be finding out in other avenues. If y'all don't see nothing wrong with that, there's something wrong with y'all. And that's just how I feel about the whole conversation about what do you bring to the table. Like I said, keep it cute, keep it short, because it's not really much for me to talk about. This isn't something I'm really going to entertain for anybody that asks me. You ask me what I bring to the table, I don't have a response for you. Do your research. Do your research, or you should have been a little bit more subtle in your approach. Don't be entertaining anybody that's asking you these questions, because at that point they don't really care about you. And I don't want y'all getting in relationships with people that don't care and only care about themselves. That's a red flag that we need to be avoiding now. At the end of the day, cut it out. Stop being ridiculous. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Wind Down the Weekend, period. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We're going to have more to come. We're going to be playing games. We're going to be having conversations. It's going to be a great time. And y'all are going to love it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be weekly content. So I'm super excited to be dropping it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Drop this in your group chat with y'all friends, y'all family members, y'all sisters, y'all cousins, y'all uncles and brothers, your baby mamas and your sisters and her sisters too. And I will see y'all later.